Hey you guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey back with another video. I want to do a quick little PSA video, if you will. Just more so a message, I guess, more so to the men of this day and age. Let's talk about it. Learn not to operate so much out of your bruised ego. Learn not to operate out of your childhood trauma. Learn how to curtail it in such a way where you don't try to apply that energy towards others, because it's going to repel regardless of how often or how heavy you try to apply it, especially depending on who you apply it to. 23s, I said that. But do so in a way where you genuinely are trying to focus on the betterment of self, the growth within self. And a lot of it does have to deal with what I just spoke about recently in one of my more recent videos, doing that shadow work. Story time. Or as a lot of you guys like to say, so boom. So boom. I was just actually heading home on the bus a moment ago, and I was minding my own business. I usually just start listening to my music, start jamming out, or else I'll sometimes, get into messaging or get on my social media for a little bit, just a mixture of things, right? But at this point, I was actually listening to my music. I was listening to some Jeezy, actually, some young Jeezy. Anyhow, so what happened? This kid, I'm going to say kid because he's not acting like a man at all. He's acting more like a little boy. I think little boy would be more like it. Initially, when I was getting ready to do this video, I was going to say black man. I was going to dedicate this one to the black man, but then I realized I said, no, that's not being fair, because there's some men of other races too that are equally wrong when it comes to this topic. But I've noticed as the trend within that group, sadly enough, the highest group of these individuals that I consider to be like little boys or act like little boys are the black men. So anyhow, I was minding my own business, riding on the bus, just listening to some music, just jamming out. This guy decides to just sit down right next to me, which is totally fine. I don't mind it at all. I had my bag there. I was really just jamming out to the point where I was like looking out the window, and I wasn't really paying attention to who was coming onto the bus. So I didn't even realize that he was looking to sit down next to me, which I would have been totally okay with. I'm not stuck up to the point where I'm like, okay, you can't sit next to me. No, but at least let me know that you're saying, hey, can I sit here? Or something that I can move my bag. No problem. 33 as I'm saying this. This is where he fucked up. So he decides to sit down and kind of ease his way into the seat, and my bag is still there. But again, no manners. No manners whatsoever. And a lot of you guys hear me talk about this in a lot of my videos. I'm very much old school. So when stuff like this happens, I'm just like, oh, I'm disgusted. And so he must have felt my energy and realized, like, damn, she must not want to talk. Because he tried, saying a few things, some little lines, I guess, to shoot his shot. But he must have felt my energy. Where I was like, damn, she ain't up for it today. Which I'm never up for having that little chit for chat, because like when I'm in my own space, in my own zone, just let me be. And the last place, especially when I'm en route heading home, 1, 2, 3, as I'm saying this, the last thing on my mind is to have that conversation with someone while I'm riding on a bus home. I just want to get home and be left alone. Anyhow, he must have felt the energy and then decides to shift gears in terms of the seat. So he mumbled some slick shit under his breath. And I'm thinking like, okay, I could barely hear him, but I know he said something. But I'm like, I don't care. Because I thought to myself, the fact that I couldn't hear him, that was God. Because if I would have heard him, that moment of crashing out would have started, and I would have embarrassed the hell out of him on that bus. Just because some of us are retired crash outs don't mean that it's not there still. That doesn't go away. It's always going to be there. People need to understand that. He probably thought for some reason or another, like, oh, she's stuck up. She ain't gonna say nothing to me because I'm a man. I'm so tired of outmanning a man. Not only when it comes to the financials, but also outmanning them when it comes to the mental strength and the physical strength. He would have got the surprise of his life this evening if he would have tested me any further. Anyhow, so So he felt the energy. And I was kind of laughing on the inside because I know he's operating out of a hurt ego. Hurt people would try to hurt people, but it's up to you if you're going to allow it to affect you or not. And that's what he wasn't prepared for. So, of course, me knowing that on a spiritual level, I was going to let it affect me. I'm like, I'm going to let him have his little boy moment. And he was butthurt. So he was trying to act like he was amused and in his phone and all that. I'm thinking, like, you're so fucking fake. You still butthurt. And then I'll tell you what's funny, because the moment I got up when I was getting ready to get off the bus, his eyes went directly to me. And I just looked at him with disgust. Like, sir, you're still not worth my time to even have a conversation with for even 2 minutes. Goodbye. And it's sad. It's so sad. This is why people need to learn to leave well alone, well alone. He didn't even realize, or else, no, I think he realized it, but he didn't realize until much later. Like, oh, wait, she has earbuds in. So chances are the reason why she didn't respond to me the first time was because she didn't hear me. So quick to jump to conclusions and assume just because you see a pretty face that, oh, this person is stuck up this and I didn't even have a clue. I was just jamming out to some music and I wasn't giving a damn about what he was doing. But the appropriate thing to do, especially if the shoe was on the other foot, I know for me, I always check, or I'll let a person know, like, hey, can I sit here? Or I tap them or do a little wave. Courtesy. A lot of people drop the ball with that. This generation, and I think he had to be around my age, so like a millennial at least, or maybe Gen X even. It's these older ones that are like so like out of touch. 33 as I said that. It's a sad ass shame in this day and age we encounter this. And it's even more sad because they're acting worse than the younger ones when we talk about Gen Z and all. Like, how did that happen? Anyhow, I'm not gonna say black men, even though majority of the ones I've noticed this trend with heavily has been the black men. But I'm gonna say men in general. Do better. The moment you come across a woman who carries herself in such a respectable way, in such an upstanding way that you know she respects self, you cannot get upset if she decides to give you the cold shoulder because of how you're carrying yourself. It's your fault, not hers. And the moment you have the opportunity to, you don't know how to act. You don't know. It's kind of like the old saying. My mom used to always say, like, not everyone has common sense. I'm paraphrasing, but it's that type of deal. And he's a perfect example of that. And a few of the other ones I came across, sadly enough, not saying all men, but well, not all black men, but the majority of the ones I've noticed this with, this trend lately, has been black men. And it breaks my heart seeing it. And sadly enough, you guys, this is why you find a lot of other women, women of color like myself, African American women, beautiful black women of all shades. This is why you find a lot of us who are pulling back, sadly enough, and not really wasting time and giving it a shot again with our black men. And this breaks my heart saying this because it's not anyone else's doing but a lot of your own. You want to get upset and you're like asking questions. I saw some posts, I think yesterday, where somebody, I think it was another black guy, he was asking, where are all the black women that still love black men? For women, black women, we feel that we still do. When it comes to finding sensible ones, the ones who know how to carry themselves with dignity, with some sense of class, respect, not only for the individual they're dealing with, but respect for self, more importantly, who know how to heal, who know how to find ways to heal, and not to put that off on others just because of assuming. As I mentioned to you guys with the example a moment ago when I was on that bus, that boy was acting a plum fool, as the old heads would say. A plum fool. Didn't realize I had my earbuds in the entire time. But just because, oh, she's a pretty girl, chances are she's ignoring me. So I'm going to mumble some shit under my breath. Now, if I hadn't had them earbuds geared up far enough and I heard a little bit of something from him, if I would have got like a sentence, I would have laid his ass out verbally. I would have tore his ass up on that they would have to kick me off the bus tonight. I promise you. 1, 2, 3 is saying that. The whole retired crash out shit, it would go down. Because some people just want to be left alone. Leave well alone, well alone. I say all that to say, for men in general, I would say from Gen X, or even let's talk about the boomers. Boomers too, because some of y'all are a hot ass mess. Boomers, oh damn. Some of you know who you are, who are operating out of bruised egos because you maybe have bad past relationships, things like that, right? Or maybe you've had bad relationships when it came to the family, like whether it was with your sisters, your aunts, your mom, whoever. And you know you have wounds you need to work on healing from. Find ways to do that. Again, I say it in a lot of my videos, shadow work, you guys. Shadow work, not only for the women, but for the men as well. I'm going to leave it at that. All I know is that as I was walking back to the house, honey, I was unbothered. But at the same time, I feel bad for him. I'm not saying it just because he's a black man. It has nothing really to do with race. I just said, and when it came to race, I'm just saying that the majority of the ones I noticed that have these issues and then they want to complain about why it doesn't seem like there are that many black women that care for them anymore. It's because of the doing of your own hand. It's your fault. It's not no one else's but your own. But at the same time, all I ask is that men, as well as the women of all races, of all backgrounds, focus on doing that shadow work. It's going to do wonders for you, I promise you. And that is all for this video, you guys. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And until next time, I'm sending everyone off with love and light. Even that one who almost got checked this evening on that bus, if he comes across this video. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Be blessed, everyone.